me know if you can hear me. You're on. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, you're good.
We're good? Alright.
Firebirds Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Joey Johnson alongside Tyler Rocky and for pregame Matt Doherty as the Orleans Firebirds look to push their season-high win streak to 8 games after a 17-3 thumping of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at McKean Field last night. And Tyler, I start with you. The bats really broke out in yesterday's contest.
Top to bottom, everybody's producing right now for this Orleans team, and you look right now, everything's starting to click for this roster. The pitching's been great all year, but now the bats are coming alive. We used to see the problem of leaving guys in scoring position and just leaving runners on in general. That has not been the case as of late. We're seeing those runs getting knocked in, and it's been timely hitting and execution from this Orleans team that's leading to a 7-game win streak.
Firebirds have scored 39 runs in their past 3 games, averaging 13 a night. Players like Nico Decolati, Steven Scott, and Steve Passatempo really breaking out. Matt, how have these new bats that started the season a little slow, but have come on as of late, how have they helped Orleans push this win streak to 7 games and allow them to get the best record in the Cape League?
Well, I think it's helped them get the balance 1 through 9 in the batting order. Everyone's hitting last night with the substitutions. They had 11 guys, get hits, and when you have 1 through 9 putting good barrels on the bat, it's going to be hard to beat. And I talked to a lot of players. They give a lot of credit to hitting coach Benny Craig. Every time I talk to a player about that's hitting well, they throw him in there. They say how good of a job he's done working with them. And I think the first couple weeks is always an adjustment period for a lot of these players coming from the metal bats in college to the wood bats down in the Cape, and you're facing better pitching. You're in a new environment with new players and new coaches, so it takes a little time to get going. And right now the Firebirds are obviously going, and we all know, anyone that watches baseball, this isn't gonna last like this for a while. But I said this to Ty last night: just keep riding the streak out as long as you can, and hopefully. We know they're not going to be scoring 10 runs a game, but if they can find a happy medium, and keep consistently putting 4 or 5 runs on the board, then, this team is going to be, in for a great, successful summer.
Firebirds are 11-6-0 on the season, good for 22 points. That's the best record on the Cape, and obviously they hold first place in the East Division. The Whitecaps come in at 8-1 with 17 points. That's good for third in the East. They will go up against Orleans starter Ryan Rollison, who, Tyler, makes his second start of the summer after a respectable performance against Catuit last Sunday.
Yeah, Rollison was dealing in the early going. He went the first 4 perfect innings, but ever since that, after he got through those 4 innings and into the 5th, that's when he started to have some trouble with some of the batters. He allowed the 2-run homer to Chandler Avant in a game against Catuit, and maybe he saw this was only a 7-inning game, so the stakes, I don't have to go as long necessarily, and I don't have to, I can try to work around some of these guys who are coming through and seeing me for the second time, and he just wasn't able to do that in that 5th inning. But the first 4 were flawless, and he looks like a very strong arm, and he'll be a great piece for this Firebirds team moving forward.
Brewster's offense has been nearly as effective as that of the Firebirds over the past few games. They're batting .270 as a team. They've scored 87 runs, led by players like Connor Smith and A.J. Graffinino, and especially Vicky Gasper, who comes in hitting .365 with 3 home runs and 18 RBIs. That's second on the Cape. Matt, how does Rollison and the Firebirds at least slow down Gasper in this game, who hit a home run against Orleans on opening day?
Right, similar to last night, Hyannis is a good hitting team as well, and we saw them score some runs early on. But if you're Rollison, the number one thing is obviously pound the zone, throw strikes, keep these hitters off balance. And this is a Brewster team, right? Last year they didn't score any runs, Noah, and now this year they kind of loaded up with the bats. So it's going to be a challenge for Ryan Rollison. He's a young pitcher. He's a freshman going up against not only older people but talented hitters, but he has a good arm himself. So I think, executing his pitches, keeping the ball down in the zone, this team can hit some home runs. And it's going to be a good start for Rollison to see where he is in terms of his competing level against players that are, a year older than him.
Rollison goes up against Davis Daniel from Auburn, who makes his second start of the season, as we will step away for the moment and return for lineups and the first pitch. You're listening to Orleans Firebirds Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Brewster Whitecaps and the Orleans Firebirds. Batting order for the Brewster Whitecaps in the 18th game of the 2017 Cape Cod Baseball League season looks like this. Connor Smith leads off. He's the second baseman from Western Michigan. Kyle Daughtry bats second. He's the third baseman from North Carolina. In the 3 spot is Mickey Gasper, the catcher for Bryant. In the cleanup spot is Marty Costas. He's the right fielder from Maryland. Zach Hagen out of North Carolina is at first base. He bats fifth. A.J. Graffinino batting .370 on the season. Bats sixth. He's the shortstop from Washington. Michael Curry, the designated hitter from Georgia, bats seventh. And the 8th spot is Hunter Bishop from Arizona State. He's in center field. And batting ninth is Devin Boyle, the left fielder from Kansas. Firebirds in the field have Lars Newbar at first, Ethan Paul at second, Jax Groshans at third, and Jeff Houghton at short. Left to right, Stephen Scott, Brandon Riley, and Nico Decolati, with Cesar Salazar doing the catching for Ryan Rollison, who makes his second start of the summer. Made an appearance last week against Catuit. He got the win. He's 1-0 with a 4.15 ERA in 4 and a third innings pitched as he gets ready to face off against a Brewster lineup that has been consistent this season, but still has only led them to a 500 record so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's some very quality bats. I mean, you mentioned A.J. Graffinino. He's in that 6 hole, and he's batting .370, so it shows that there are quality sticks in the lineup, and there's more that are on the way. Julian Infante will be coming from Vanderbilt very shortly, so this is a Brewster team that can definitely pick it up in the back half of the season, but at the moment, it's only led them to a 500 record.
Here's Connor Smith to lead off. He's the second baseman from Western Michigan, batting .302, no home runs, and 3 RBIs, as the left-hander Rollison kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. So far, Brewster has a team hitting .270. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt. Skips to the backstop, and the count is 2-0. Whitecaps look to rebound from a 7-4 defeat to YD. They led that game 3-0 yesterday, but fell behind late as YD briefly took the lead in the East Division. Later conceded to the Firebirds. Here's the 2-0, and that's in the dirt again. And the count is 3-0.
Not the same command we saw Rollison have. He threw strikes early and often against Catuit in his first start, but 3 straight balls to start this one.
3-0 is over the inside corner for a strike. So Rollison pumps in his first strike of the game. Gets ready for the 3-1 pitch. And misses high. So a 5-pitch walk as Connor Smith reaches. That'll bring up Kyle Daughtry, the third baseman from North Carolina. He's hitting .265 left field, and that'll be a single for Kyle Daughtry.
Well, I don't think they had a chance at 2 there, even if Hotby came up with that one. But once that hit that lip, it was a chopper, but it just died out and it went plateaued almost into left field. And Hotby just couldn't keep his glove down far enough.
So here's Gasper. Early trouble here for Rollison, and he misses with the first pitch low. It's 1-0. Gasper 365, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Was 1 for 3 yesterday. Homered in the first game of the season here at Eldridge Park. Blast to left center field. He's got 2 on. Only trails Makina out in Falmouth for the big lead in RBIs. Here's the 1-0. That misses off the inside corner. Rollison not getting that inside part of the plate.
Rollison hasn't really worked in a jam this season so far, so let's see how he responds with 1 in the first inning.
Ethan calls into chat. This is the first game of a home and home between the two clubs. They'll meet at Stony Brook Field tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. first pitch. First time Orleans will head to Brewster. Rollison delivers the 2-0, and that's in for a strike. 2-1, and that one lands at the knees on the outside corner. Orleans in their home white vests, white pants, red sleeves, white hats, red rims, teal jerseys for Brewster, white pants, and navy caps. Here's the pitch. That's low, blocked by Salazar, and it's 3-1.
This is a very uncharacteristic start from an Orleans pitcher, just falling behind hitters left and right. That's not something we see out of the Firebirds very often.
Orleans has taken the initiative recently, getting ahead in a lot of games. Here's the pitch. 3-1 is fouled off. That will reach the crowd beyond the right field line. Count runs full. First and second, nobody out, top of the first. No score between Brewster and Orleans, the second of 6 regular season meetings between the clubs. Gasper at the plate, digging in from the right-hand side. Rollison delivers, and that is over the inside corner, strike 3. Got him with a fastball at the knees. So a big strikeout for Rollison, who allows a walk, a single, and then comes back to strike out the most dangerous hitter in this Brewster lineup. That's the first out of the inning.
It was a nice location there and an even better job by the catcher Salazar to put that one in the zone. Looked maybe a bit low, but Salazar's frame job certainly helped out Rollison.
Here's Marty Costas, the right fielder from Maryland. First pitch is a breaking ball that hangs up too high. Reaching for it was Salazar. Count is 1-0. 182, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs for Costas. 1 for 4 in the loss to YD yesterday. Here's the pitch. That's up in the inside corner for a strike. 1-1 the count. Hagen on deck. Brewster looking to strike first, as they did on opening day. Get back over 500 with a win. Rollison delivers, swung on and ripped it to right field. That's going to fall. It's over the head of Decalotti and up against the fence. 2 runs should score. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's a good one, and having to hold at third was Kyle Daughtry, so a great relay. After Decalotti hits Ethan Paul, and he fires into Salazar, so after a wide turn at third, Daughtry, who was right on the heels of Connor Smith, has to hold up, as only 1 run scores. The Whitecaps have a 1-0 lead.
And Costas just took that ball the other way and kept tailing away from the right fielder Decalotti. Not much Nico can do on a batted ball like that one, but he made up for it with a strong relay throw back in and held this to a 1-run game.
So Brewster jumps ahead. Here's Zach Hagen, the first baseman from North Carolina. The pitch misses high. Location troubles continuing for Rollison. Hagen hitting 200. Yet to hit a home run. No RBIs either. Batting from the right-hand side. Raffanino on deck. He leads Brewster in batting average. Hitting at 370.
surprise me here if Rollison didn't offer him a strike for the remainder of the at-bat.
2 more runs out there for Brewster. RBI double by Marty Costas has started the scoring. Firebirds fall behind for the first time in 4 games. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss and a breaking ball down in the dirt. Stopped by Salazar. There's 2 outs, so a couple strikeouts for Rollison. That'll bring up A.J. Graffinino with 2 down. Graffinino at 370, no home runs, 4 RBIs in his second stint with the Whitecaps. Played here last year as well. Looks to extend the Brewster lead. Datres, who singled, is on third. Costas, who doubled, is on second. Here's the pitch. And it is inside, just off the corner. And it's 1-0 on Graffinino.
Costas the runner on second. With his secondary lead, he's getting further than the shortstop Hotby. Might see Salazar throw down.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and tapped over to first. Play made by Newtbar, and he will win the race to the bag as Rollison was late to cover. And Graffinino is retired by a half step, but Brewster are on the board after a half inning. Whitecaps 1, Firebirds coming up. Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park here in Orleans, Massachusetts. Brewster on top 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. The batting order for the Orleans Firebirds this afternoon looks like this. Jimmy Herron leads off. He's the designated hitter from Duke. Ethan Paul, the second baseman out of Vanderbilt, bats second. And the 3 spot is Nico Decolati. He's the right fielder from Loyola Marymount. In the cleanup spot is Cesar Salazar after getting the night off last night. He's the catcher from Arizona. The left fielder Steven Scott from Vanderbilt hits 5th. Brandon Riley, the center fielder from North Carolina, hits 6th. Jax Groshans returns to the starting lineup. He's the third baseman from Kansas, batting 7th. Lars Newtbar bats 8th. He's the first baseman from USC. And Jeff Hotby is at shortstop, batting 9th. He plays his college ball at San Diego, and they all go up against Davis Daniel, who makes his second start. He's 1-0 with a 6.75 ERA, 4 innings pitched. Jimmy Herron gets ready to dig in. Quickly, the defense behind Davis Daniel looks like this. Around the infield, it's Gahagan at first, Smith at second, Datres at third, Graffinino at short. Left to right, Foyle, Bishop, and Costas. It's Gasper doing the catching as the right-hander Daniel kicks and fires. Herron swings and misses. And it's 0-1. Fastball on the inner half as Herron couldn't catch up to it. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt. It's 1-1. Herron batting .404. 1 home run, 9 RBIs. He's hit safely in all but 1 Cape League game this season. He's reached base safely in all of them. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled off to the right. This count is 1-2. Very short swing for the right hand hitting Jimmy Herron. Daniel from the windup. Here's the pitch. This is low. It's 2-2. Herron a hit last night. 1 of 19 for the Firebirds as they hung 17 runs on the Harbor Hawks. Here's the 2-2. That's in the dirt again, and the count runs full.
And 2-strike situations are where Jimmy Herron seems to thrive this year. He's good at taking the ball the other way and landing it in the gap for extra bases even sometimes.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and ripped into left field. Coming on is Foyle, and for Jimmy Herron. He raises his batting average, and he's now hit safely in all but one game. He has been on the Cape. So Herron stays hot, and that brings up Ethan Paul. Speaking of hot, he's up to 319. 1 home run, 6 RBIs. That home run came in the 13-2 rout of Katuitt on Wednesday. It was 2 for 2. Did not play the whole game last night. Ready is Daniel. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt, blocked nicely by the catcher Gasper. The count is 1-0. Gasper got down to block a fastball that hopped in just across home plate. So ahead early is Ethan Paul. Decolati on deck. Herron on first. Here's the pitch. That's over the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. Brewster on top 1-0 on an RBI double by Marty Costas, the cleanup hitter. Hit it to the fence in right field. A nice relay prevented a second runner from scoring. Here's the 1-1. And that just missed down and in. 2-1 the count. Orleans once again trailing for the first time since Tuesday's game against YD. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt, blocked again by Gasper, who lost it for a second but found it at his feet. It's 3-1. So similar problems for Brewster starter Davis Daniel as Ryan Rollison had at the top of the first inning. Some control issues against Ethan Paul here. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and grounded wide at first, foul. Count runs full for the second time. Decolati on deck. He now leads Orleans in batting average, hitting .407. Herron, who's on first, will have taken that crown back from him, at least for the moment. So Herron has had a significantly higher amount of at-bats. Here's the pitch. There goes Herron. Swung on and popped up on the infield. Herron has to put on the brakes. The play is made by the shortstop. The throw is not in time as they try to double off Herron at first. He slides back just in time. Quick throw by Graffinino, the shortstop, but just getting back was Herron, who stumbled a little bit as he had to pull up a few feet from the second base. He is safe, but Paul is retired. A pop-up to short for the first out of the inning, and that brings up Nico Decolati, the right fielder from Loyola Marymount.
That ball was caught even a split second earlier by the shortstop Graffinino. Wasn't hit too high, and probably have Herron over at first.
Here's the pitch. Decolati takes down and away. 1-0. Firebirds are 7-1 since Decolati joined the team. The only loss was his first game in a Firebirds uniform. That was in Wareham. There goes Herron. That's a strike. The throw down to second is very high and into center field. Sliding in is Herron, as it looks like he maybe slid a little early or stumbled a little bit coming into the base. But he is safe as Graffinino couldn't get up to get that throw from Gasper, who kind of pulled the string. That throw down to second and lofted into center field.
I wonder if there's a divot around second, because Connor Smith, the second baseman, kind of stumbled.
Here's the pitch, and it's in for a strike.
When he was going to cover the bag, the throw was taking him the other way, and you saw him kind of hit the deck. You saw Herron also come up a little short right there, so I wonder if there's something in the Eldridge dirt out there around the second base bag.
1-2 the count on Decolati. Here's the pitch. That's taken down and away, backhanded by Gasper. Count runs even. It's 2-2. Orleans looking to tie this ball game up. It's 1-0 Brewster. Play here in the bottom of the first inning. One of two 5:30 starts for the Firebirds this season. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Decolati. Swung on and ripped into right field, and that's going to tie the game. That one goes all the way to the fence and past the fence in the corner. That's going to be a ground rule double for Nico Decolati. In to score is Herron, and it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the first inning.
Excellent opposite field hitting there for Decolati. The same place where he saw the first run of the game come in and score out in right field, and he gets it right back there. He has by far been the hottest Firebird ever since coming here. You could argue Jimmy Herron, but I mean Decolati, his sample size is a lot smaller at the moment and more compact, and it's been very impressive. Not that Herron hasn't been, but I mean what Nico's brought to this team, it's just been ideal out of the 3-hole, and he knocks in a run right there.
Yesterday, was finally retired in his last at-bat, is on the board quickly here against the Whitecaps. 5 for his last 6. Here's the pitch to Salazar, and that's an off-speed pitch that's in there for a strike. Count evens up at 1-1. Stephen Scott, who is red hot, stands in the on-deck circle. Go-ahead run out at second base. That's Nico Decolati. Daniel takes a look and delivers. Swung on and popped into shallow right. Coming in is Costas, going out is Smith. It'll be Smith who makes the catch on the outfield grass for the second out of the inning.
And that one right there, Salazar just got under it, hit that ball about a mile into the sky, but he hits that ball square right there. That one maybe gets out of here, even with the wind blowing a bit in out from right.
Both of his home runs have been to right field. Here's Stephen Scott. He hit 2 home runs yesterday. Pop fly to left center and then a moonshot to right. Here's the pitch. That misses up and away. Up to 270 on the season. 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. He's on quite the streak. Had struggled up until Wednesday's game against Kentuit, but since then he has been just phenomenal at the plate. Here's the pitch. That's outside. 2-0 the count. He had 6 RBIs yesterday. 2 for 5 day. He looks to give Orleans an early lead. Game is tied at 1 at the moment. Runner on second, 2 down. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded to second base. Should be routine for Smith. He's up with it and fires to first. And that will end the inning. But the Firebirds do tie it up. An RBI double down the right field line off the bat of Nico Decolati. Has knotted this game as at one. We'll go to the top of the second inning here at Eldridge Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park as we move to the top of the second inning, 1-1 to score as Ryan Rollison returns for his second inning of work. Face the bottom third of the Brewster lineup. Michael Curry, Hunter Bishop, and Kevin Boyle due up for the Whitecaps as they look to retake the lead. Rollison gets ready to face Curry, who's batting .294 on the summer. Here's the pitch, and it misses. No, it catches the outside corner. Turning around in dismay is Curry. The count is 0-1. DH from Georgia, no home runs. He's driven in 8. Left-hander Rollison peers in, gets his sign, kicks and delivers. That misses down and in. time as he retires Michael Curry for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Hunter Bishop. Bishop, the center fielder from Arizona State, hitting 188, no home runs. He's driven in 5. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped foul at the plate. Count is 0-1. So a fantastic play for the first out of the inning over at third base for Groshans. That ball was hit in the hole between him and Hotby, but he slid to his left to make a nice play. Here's the pitch, and it is down in the dirt for ball 1. 1-1 pitch from Rollison. Swing and a miss. Count is 1-2. Orleans coming in with a league best 2.79 team ERA. Rollison delivers, swung on and chopped foul right at the plate again. It stays 1-2.
And it looked like yesterday that ERA was going to inflate a little bit, but final 6 innings were flawless by the bullpen.
On the inside corner, strike 3. The 1-2 pitch is a breaking ball that drops in, and there's 2 outs. Third strikeout for Rollison. That'll bring up Devin Foyle, the left fielder from Kansas.
Nice breaking ball right there from Rollison. Dips right over the inside corner. A great 2-strike pitch. He's dealing now.
Here's the pitch to Foyle. That misses outside, 1-0. Foyle hitting 172, no home runs, no RBIs. 9th Brewster hitter to hit for the first 2 innings. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped wide of third. Count is 2-0. Top of the order on deck. Rollison at the belt, and he delivers, and that misses high. 2 balls and a strike. It's 1-1, 2 outs. Top of the 2nd inning. Both teams with a run in the opening frame. Both of them RBI doubles to right field. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. 3-1 to Foyle. Foyle looking to keep the inning alive for the Firebirds. Rollison from the windup kicks and fires. Swung on and popped into shallow right center. In comes the right fielder Decalotti. He's got it to end the inning. So we've played 1.5, a perfect second for Ryan Rollison after he struggled in the first. Head to the bottom of the 2nd. 1-1 your score from Eldridge Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back in Orleans as we move to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Brandon Riley digs in, and the first pitch is over the outside corner for a strike. Riley hitting at .292, no home runs, 7 RBIs against Davis Daniel, who allowed 1 run on 2 hits in the first inning. Here's the pitch, and that's in the dirt off the umpire. It counts 1-1. The sun continues to beat down on Eldridge Park. You a fan of these 5:30 start times, Tyler?
I am. I know you're not.
Here's the pitch. That's down and away, 2-1. Well, my theory that the heat would discourage people has been proven wrong, as there's a very good crowd here. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, broken bat, ground ball to short under the glove of Graffinino, and that will go into left field. We'll see how it's scored. Graffinino didn't make contact with the ball, so it might be a hit, as Brandon Riley reaches to lead off the inning. And it will actually be an error, which is, from our estimation, probably the right decision, as Graffinino came up on that ball. Second one we've seen die over there as the ground ball leaves the infield grass and gets onto the dirt.
And we've seen a couple, not just on ground balls, but also up the middle on the stumble by the second baseman Smith. So
Groshans digs in, and he takes a ball outside.
field conditions playing a factor early in this one.
Groshans hitting .265, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and a 3-way tie for the team lead in home runs. Long look in for Daniel. He delivers, and that's over the inside corner for a strike, and the count evens up at 1-1 strike on the Orleans third baseman.
And it looked like Groshans tried to call for time after that long look in. Saw that with Luke Miller on Bourne, and he almost hit one over the fence.
Here's the pitch, and it just missed, a little down and away, 2-1. Lars Nootbaar on deck. Brandon Riley on first. He reached on an error by the shortstop Graffinino. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Daniel to Groshans. There goes the runner. The ball's in the dirt. The throw is wide of the bag. And stealing second base is Brandon Riley, the second theft of the game for the Firebirds.
We're seeing Orleans getting a lot more aggressive on the base paths now. In these last couple of games, there's already 2 stolen bases, and we're not even through 2 here in this one. And Brandon Riley, Jimmy Herron, both guys who can swipe bags, and a good jump there by Riley. Good pitch to steal on, as well as the catcher Gasper had to reach away from his body.
It gives the Firebirds 16 stolen bases as a team on the season. Here's the pitch to Groshans, and he takes a big cut and swings right through it. Count runs full. It's 3-2. So Orleans utilizing the running game a little bit more. It paid off back in the first inning when Herron was allowed to score from second base after he stole the bag, and Decolati followed with a ground rule double down the right field line. Count is full here on Groshans. Daniel takes a look at second and delivers. Swung on and fouled off. That will reach the crowd down the first base line. So at least a 7-pitch at bat for Groshans. The Firebirds have made Daniel work in the early going. Couple 3-2 counts to start the game. Decolati worked it to 2-2, and now 3-2 on Groshans. Ready is Daniel. Here's the payoff pitch. That missed outside. So with the base open, Daniel walks Groshans, and the Firebirds have their 4th base runner of the game, and that will bring up Lars Nootbaar, the first baseman from USC. He came in midway through last night's game in Hyannis to play center field. He ended up going 1 for 2. So he replaced Jimmy Herron, the second time we'd seen him in center field this season. The other time was against Brewster on opening day. Here's the pitch. Swung on and grounded to first base. The throw down to short for 1, on to first. And in time, it's a 3-6-3 double play to give the Firebirds their first 2 outs of the inning. Up to third goes Brandon Riley. And Jeff Hope will dig in as the Firebirds will get one more chance to take the lead.
And Newtbar was really digging down that line. He didn't want to turn that into a double play. Looked like he was going to maybe beat it out for a second, but a nice transfer from the shortstop Graffinino turned that double play.
Hotby digs in from the left-hand side. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball low. The count's 0-1, so Grosjean's erased at second base. Riley ends up at third. Here's the pitch. That missed down and in. 1-1 the count. 1-1 your score as we play in the bottom of the second inning on a very hot Sunday afternoon here in Orleans. Here's the pitch. Ball missed low. 2-1 the count. Top of the order with Jimmy Herron on deck. So Orleans look to take the lead for the first time. Here's the pitch to Hotby. That's taken low. It's 3-1. Only one walk so far for Daniel, but he's been a little inconsistent around the strike zone. A good hitter's count here for Hotby. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lashed foul off to the left. Count runs full once again. This is the fourth full count that Daniel's had. He's only played an inning in 2/3. Digging back in is Hotby. Shaking off a couple signs is Daniel, and now he'll step off. Brandon Riley on third. Reached on an error to lead off the inning as the 3-2 is popped up by Hotby. Deep second, moving over and making the catch is Connor Smith, and that will end the inning. So the Firebirds put 2 on with nobody out, but do not score. A double play and a pop-up end the inning. We've played 2 from Eldridge Park. 1-1 your score on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park, we move to the top of the third inning. Top of the Brewster order due up as Connor Smith digs in from the right-hand side. He walked and scored the only Brewster run back in the first inning. First pitch from Rollison is in there over the inside corner, strike 1.
We're seeing Rollison now, after struggling a bit in the first and working around a lot of batters, starting to pound that zone a lot better, looking like the first 4 innings against Catuit.
Here's the pitch, swung on and grounded up the middle. Over to get it is the second baseman, Paul, who fires on to first in time. And there's 1 out here in the top of the third. And that will bring up Kyle Datrace, who singled and was stranded at third in the first. Came in hitting at 265. As Rollison has made quick work of the Whitecaps after the first 4 hitters gave him some trouble. Was able to strike out the guy on deck in that span. Here's the first pitch to Datrace, breaking ball, and taking it for a strike is the Brewster third baseman. Counts 0-1. Ready again is Rollison, working quickly. Here's the pitch, and that catches the inside corner. It's 0-2. Datrace did not play yesterday. The Whitecaps dropped back to 500, falling to YD. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped foul off to the right. Count stays at 0-2. Mickey Gasper on deck, 1 out, top of the third, 1-1 your score. Rollison looks in again, and the left-hander from Mississippi delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away. Count is 1-2. Both teams with a run in the first inning. Nothing since. Rollison delivers again. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball down and in. And down goes Datres. He's the second out of the third inning. It's the fourth strikeout for Ryan Rollison, who really has bounced back nicely.
Rollison right there, we're seeing that breaking ball being utilized a lot with 2 strikes. He's getting a nice dip on it, and he's putting guys away.
So here's the dangerous Mickey Gasper. Rollison was able to strike him out looking on a 3-2 pitch. And the first pitch misses high. 1-0 the count. Gasper, second in the Cape League with 18 RBIs. Rollison delivers, and that's over the inside corner. Count runs to 1-1. 3 home runs. He's in a 3-way tie for the Brewster lead in home runs. He's tied with the guy on deck. Here's the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. Snuck a fastball in there.
I think another reason why Rollison's having a little more success is it seems like the strike zone's expanding as well.
It was pretty tight for the first few batters. There's the 1-2 to Gasper. Swung on and missed. A breaking ball down in the zone as Salazar applies the tag to end the inning. So a couple strikeouts in the third. That's 5 on the day for Ryan Rollison. We've played 2.5, 1-1 your score. From Eldridge Park, this is Orleans Firebirds Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back in Orleans as we move to the bottom of the third inning, top of the Firebirds order due up. Jimmy Herron, Ethan Paul, and Nico Decalotti for Orleans. Herron digging in from the right-hand side. Singled and scored a run back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's over the outside corner, 0-1. Herron, the DH from Duke. 1 home run. Tied with Steven Scott for the team lead in RBIs with 9. Swung on and fouled off by Herron, and the count's 0-2.
Well, in Herron's defense for the RBI crown, 6 of those from Scott came yesterday in a complete breakout game.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and tapped foul off the catcher Gasper. And the count stays 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and grounded into the
Brewster dugout. Still 0-2. Paul on deck, and then Nico Decalotti, who had an RBI double back in the first inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Heron. Swung on and flipped into shallow center, and that ball is going to drop in between three players. Nobody covering second base, but over to make sure that Heron doesn't advance is the first baseman Gehagen. It's a bloop single to lead off the inning. And Heron is aboard. And that will bring up Ethan Paul. So a couple hits for Heron. We've gotten used to that.
Both of them coming with 2 strikes as well, and he just kind of tapped that one out there and flared it at any cost to get that ball down. It was a tough pitch to handle, and he somehow found the outfield grass.
Some nice 2-strike hitting there. Here's the pitch to Paul, swung on and fouled off to the left. 0-1 the count. Paul batting from the left-hand side. Back over 300. He was there briefly after going on a run, quite the run. Went 10 for 22 after starting 0 for 10, and now a check over on Heron, who dives back safely. No balls and 1 strike on Paul. 1-1 your score as we play in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Eldridge Park. Another check on Heron, who dives back. Heron stole a base back in the 1st inning. He leads the team with 6 on the season. Again, as we mentioned before, Orleans finally starting to utilize their speed and steal bases. We hardly saw any stolen bases in the early going. Here's the pitch. That's taken high. 1-1 the count on Paul. He's got a home run this season. Driven in 6. His breakout game was when the Firebirds traveled to play the Bourne Braves. It was 2 Wednesdays ago. Since then, he's been hot. Here's the 1-1, and now another check on Heron. No tag applied by the first baseman right there by Gehagen. Still 1-1. Paul steps out now, digs back in. Ready is Daniel. Here's the pitch. It's big swing and a miss at a breaking ball down in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ethan Paul. Decalotti and then Salazar also due up here in the bottom of the 3rd. A sunny day here in Orleans. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back to the screen. Count stays at 1-2. Ethan Paul out of Vanderbilt, 2nd season in Orleans. Actually having a better season this year than he did last summer when he hit .252. Here's the pitch. There goes Heron. Swung on and fouled back and out of play again. And having to return to first base is Jimmy Heron.
Heron has been very dangerous on the base paths, and see right there once again, Orleans staying aggressive, and they keep up like this, they'll keep manufacturing even more runs.
Wouldn't be surprised if Orleans continue to run. Gasper's had some trouble throwing from behind the plate. There goes Heron again, taken for a ball. The throw down is not in time. Diving in below the tag was Jimmy Heron. He's got his 2nd stolen base of the game. Gives him 7 on the season. And Orleans, for the 3rd consecutive inning to start this matchup, has put a runner in scoring position.
And that's another really good pitch to steal on right there. A breaking ball, so it's coming in a little bit slower. Heron gets a good jump, and that was actually a good throw by Gasper, though.
Here's the pitch, swung on and grounded into right field. A base hit. Around 3rd comes Heron. He's being sent to the plate. Here's the throw, and it will go into 2nd base. Scoring as Heron and the Firebirds have a 2-1 lead. An RBI single by Ethan Paul, his 7th RBI of the season. As Heron scores the 2nd Orleans run. And the Firebirds, they weren't down for long, and the game was not tied for long as they have jumped ahead here in the 3rd inning.
And that all comes from that stolen base by Heron, and
You get a timely hit there by Ethan Paul. Nothing too hard through the right side of the infield, but it was hit hard enough where Heron could score, and it actually made it to the outfield grass.
Here's Nico Decalotti. First pitch is taken for a strike just below the letters.
The run manufacturing is something that's really come along during this 7-game winning streak. We're seeing less home runs and more singles and doubles that are knocking guys in.
0-1 the count. Daniel delivers. Swung on and fouled off. Quickly 0-2. Nobody out. Bottom of the third. Firebirds 2, Whitecaps 1. The second of 6 meetings between these teams. Ryan Rollison has settled down and been fantastic after having trouble with the first few hitters of the game. But Davis Daniel still has been inconsistent as he strikes out Decalotti there with a fastball away. So after a couple hits to lead off the inning, Daniel comes back to strike out Decalotti. That's his first strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Cesar Salazar. Salazar in his first at-bat popped out to deep second base. So he will dig in from the left-hand side. 2 home runs, driven in 7. Both his home runs pulled to right field. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back right at the plate. I think that caught a bit of the umpire as well as the catcher Gasper. Count is 0-1. Firebirds did hit a couple home runs last night. None of them from Salazar, though. Both off the bat of Stephen Scott, who is on deck at the moment. Count is 0-1 here on Salazar. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's the pitch, bluffing at first and swinging a line drive to center field. That's a base hit. Up to second goes Paul. He'll hold there as Cesar Salazar picks up his first hit of the afternoon. And they're on first and second with 1 out for Stephen Scott.
We're seeing the hit parade. I mean, it's been absolutely contagious with this Orleans team. So many guys coming up, and you look 1 through 9, anyone can deliver a hit at any time. Anyone can knock in a run at any time. Even the guy who's hitting 9th for you, Jeff Hotby, he's tied for 3rd in RBIs on this team, so even though his average isn't quite where he'd like it to be, he's still a productive member of this team.
So here's Stephen Scott. 2 home runs in Hyannis yesterday. Grounded out to second in his first at-bat in this game. Here's the pitch. That misses outside, ball 1.
And Hyannis, one of those smaller ballparks. One of those home runs probably gets out here at Eldridge. The other one, I'm not so sure, though.
His second home run certainly would have. A moonshot to straightaway right field. Here's the pitch, and the 1-0 drops in for a strike, a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Certainly has the swing to be a power hitter. And not very deep here down the lines. 314 to right and an even 300 to left. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Taken outside 2-1, and of course we've mentioned this before, but those short dimensions down the line are compensated for by the cavernous 434-foot fence in straightaway center field. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and just missed.
And comparatively, it looks like the left and right fielder are playing much deeper than the center fielder Bishop, but in reality, they're playing at about the same distance, but when you look out into the field, there's just so much distance behind Bishop. Meanwhile, left and right field both have their backs pretty much up against the fence.
Here's the 3-1. Swung on and fouled down the left field line. That's going to get out of play. Count runs full. It's 3-2. Well, if you get a line drive to center field here, gets over the center fielder's head, that's going to roll forever. Scott will get ready to dig back in. The count's 3-2, 2 on, 1 out, already 1 run in. Here in the 3rd inning, it's 2-1 Orleans. Jimmy Herron has scored both runs. Here's the pitch. That misses high, and the bases are loaded. It's a walk for Stephen Scott. He goes to first, Salazar up to second, and Paul hops over to third as Brandon Riley digs in. He reached on an error by the shortstop Graffinino back in the 2nd inning, but nothing would come of it as he was stranded at third. He also stole a base. The Firebirds have 3 of them in today's contest, as there's a brief meeting at the mound between the first baseman Gahagan, the catcher Gasper, and the pitcher Daniel. Bases loaded, 1 out. Orleans looking to break this one open. And they've scored 39 runs in their past 3 games. Coming into this one, now 41 in their last 4. Riley digs in from the left-hand side. Here's the pitch. Checked his swing and takes it for a strike over the outside corner.
Now this is where the Orleans lineup really gets interesting. Riley's been the guy hitting in the 6th spot today, but he's been your 3-hitter throughout the entire season. And really just gets bumped because Decolati's been so good.
The 0-1 is lined into right field. Going back, Costas, he's got it. That should score a run easily, as heading to third is Salazar, and he slides in safely. And advancing on the back end is Steven Scott. He makes it to second safely. The run scores as Ethan Paul crosses the plate. It's the 3rd Orleans run of the afternoon, and they're ahead 3-1 on a sacrifice fly to right by Brandon Riley.
There's Riley, just as a former 3-hitter in this lineup, doing his job, getting the runs in at any cost. He puts that ball in the air. It was plenty deep enough where Costas didn't even try to throw out the runner, Paul, coming home. And Orleans getting some insurance early on.
Here's Jax Groshans, third baseman from Kansas. He walked, was erased on a double play back in the 2nd inning. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs on the season. And the pitch is taken inside, ball 1. Salazar on third, Scott on second, Groshans at the plate. Herron and Paul have crossed in the inning. It's 3-1 Firebirds. And now calling time is Jax Groshans. And now he'll step back in. Exceptionally loud car going by down the left field line. That may have been why Groshans wanted time. Count is 1-0. Groshans looking to increase his RBI total. Here's the pitch. And that just missed off the outside corner. 2-0 the count. Lars Nootbaar on deck. Firebirds ahead 3-1. Ready is Daniel. And the pitch. Missed down low. 3 balls and no strikes. First base is open. Second and third base occupied. Orleans with 3 hits and a walk in the inning, to go along with 2 runs as they look for more. Here's the 3-0. Swung on and ripped into right field, and that is down for a base hit. In to score is Salazar. Around third comes Scott. He's going to score standing up as the throw comes into second base. 2-run single off the bat of Jax Groshans, swinging on 3-0. And the Orleans Firebirds have a 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And an interesting green light right there for Orleans, and it pays off right there. Jax Groshans gets a nice pitch to hit, and he hits it hard out to right. And the timely hitting, this is just something we did not see, especially in the first game against Brewster. Orleans had plenty of chances against the Whitecaps in game number 1, but could only churn out 1 run. Today, a much different case, because this is just, frankly, a different Orleans lineup at this point in the season.
It's a 4-run inning at the moment for Orleans, as Lars Nootbaar will come to the plate. Conference at the mound for the Whitecaps, who jumped ahead within the first 4 batters of the game, but have fallen behind 5-1. The Firebirds doing what they've done throughout this win streak, and especially over the past 3 games, and that is take advantage of their opportunities when runners are on base. It's a 4-run inning at this point. Daniel faces Nootbaar. Groshans on first. Here's the pitch. And that's taken over the outside corner for a strike. Now, Steven Scott may have scored anyway, but he got a little help out in right field. Costas didn't field the ball cleanly. Took him an extra second to throw it into the infield. Here's the pitch to Newtbar. That's over the outside corner, 0-2. So the Firebirds took them a couple innings to get off the blocks in this one, but the bats have come alive. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and lined right to the shortstop Graffinino, and that ends the inning. But the Firebirds put up 4 more RBIs by Ethan Paul, by Brandon Riley, and by Jax Groshans. Give the Orleans Firebirds a 5-1 lead. We move to the 4th. Ryan Rollison returns on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park, we move to the top of the 4th inning. The Firebirds find themselves with a 5-1 lead after a 4-run bottom of the 3rd. Marty Costas, Zach Gahagan, and A.J. Graffinino due up. Here's the first pitch from Rollison, and it's in for a strike to Marty Costas, who lined an RBI double off the base of the fence in right field back in the 1st inning. Seems like a long time ago. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and popped foul. That will reach the crowd beyond the right field line. Counts 0-2. Sun setting beyond the right field foul line here in Orleans. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That just missed. It counts 1-2. Still plenty of daylight though. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Kind of a check swing, but certainly going around was Costas, and he becomes strikeout victim number 6 for Ryan Rollison. It's his 3rd in a row. That brings up Zach Gahagan, the first baseman from North Carolina. He struck out swinging. That's the 2nd of Rollison's Ks. Coming back in the 1st inning. Digs in from the right-hand side. Here's the pitch from Rollison, and it drops in over the outside corner, a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Graffinino on deck. Orleans with 5 unanswered runs in the lead as the 0-1 pitch misses high, and the count is 1-1. Again, as we've mentioned, a very good-sized crowd on hand as the 1-1 drops in for a strike, a breaking ball that crossed at the knees. It's 1-2. Possibly a season high here at Eldridge Park. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that catches the inside corner, strike 3. Bouncing out of the way was Gahagan, but he gets the bad news from the home plate umpire, January, as he says that fastball crossed the inside corner. And it's a 7th strikeout for Ryan Rollison, who has recovered magnificently after running into some early trouble, as 3 of the first 4 reached. He's come back strong. Here's the first pitch of Graffinino, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Well, now with a 4-run cushion Maybe a little more confidence here in the fourth inning for Rollison. Here's the pitch. Swung on in line to second, caught on the fly by Ethan Paul, and that ends the inning. So a quick top of the fourth as Ryan Rollison has now set down 11 in a row. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Firebirds 5, Whitecaps 1 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning, 5-1 Firebirds on top. Jeff Hotby will lead off for Orleans, followed by the top of the order. Jimmy Herron and Ethan Paul also due up in the inning. Hotby popped out to the second baseman back in the second inning. He gets his second look at Davis Daniel, who's coming off a rough third. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled off to the left over Route 28 down the third base line, and the count is 0-1. A 4-run frame for the Firebirds. Capped off by a 2-run single by Jax Groshans as Hotby takes a ball outside. The count is 1-1. Looking in again is the right-hander Daniel. He kicks and fires. That's over the outside corner, 1-2. Orleans has left a runner on base in every inning, but 5 are across. We've seen them leaving runners on base over the past few games, which was a big problem for them early in the season. But now they're scoring a lot of runs as the 1-2 misses low. 2-2 the count. Orleans already with 6 hits through the first 3 innings. Here's the pitch, swung on and grounded to first base. Up with it is Gahagan. He'll take it himself for the first out of the inning. 3 unassisted. And now we go to the top of the order with Jimmy Herron, who has a couple of soft singles, one to left and one to center. He scored both runs as he digs in from the right-hand side. Firebirds on top by 4 as they look to avenge their opening day loss to the Whitecaps. Here's the pitch. And that catches the inside corner. 0-1 the count. Well, the control from Daniel has gotten better as the game has progressed, as he kicks and fires and misses outside with that one. It's 1-1. But the hits have come for Orleans as the game has gone on. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That misses downstairs. 2-1. Ethan Paul on deck. He had an RBI in his last at-bat. Daniel kicks and fires. Herron swings and misses at a high fastball. It's 2-2. Eldridge Park here in Orleans, Massachusetts on a sunny Sunday afternoon on 4th of July weekend. There's the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and popped into center. That sends Bishop back a few steps. Now he comes back in and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. That will bring up Ethan Paul with 2 down. Orleans in danger of going out 1-2-3 for the first time in this game. Something we have not seen a lot of during this win streak, and especially over the past 3 games. Make it 3.5 now. The Firebirds are approaching the century mark in runs scored. Only 6 away. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined into left field. That sends Foyle back, still going back. And that ball is just foul. So that flew out of our vantage point down the left field line. It looks like that one just missed the chalk line as Paul will come in and retrieve his bat. Counts 0-1. We have a pretty good view of the field here on the third base side of home plate, but that left field corner, probably a 20 square foot area, is blocked off, and that's exactly where that ball landed. So the count's 0-1. Daniel kicks and fires again, and that misses low. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ethan Paul. Second baseman playing his college ball, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Here's the pitch. It misses down and in. 2-1 the count. Once again, not the only Commodore on the Firebirds roster, with Stephen Scott and yesterday's starter Chandler Day also attending that university. Here's the pitch, swung on and lined into left center field. That is going to get down for a base hit. Bishop over to cut it off. So the Firebirds will not be set down 1-2-3 here in the 4th inning, as they have had at least 1 base runner on in every inning so far. It's a single for Ethan Paul, and he's 2 for 3. That will bring up Nico Decolati. Hit a ground rule double that skipped beyond the fence down the right field line. That scored the first Orleans run of the game. He would strike out swinging for the first out of the 3rd inning. 1 on, 2 out, 5-1 Orleans. Decolati digging in. Daniel delivers. Swung on, and that's fisted to second base. Played on a hop by Connor Smith, and he steps on the bag to end the inning. 1 base runner for the Firebirds. Nothing comes of it. We've played 4 5-1 Firebirds on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park as we move to the top of the 5th inning, Ryan Rollison working with a 4-run cushion. He will face the bottom third of the Brewster batting order. Michael Curry, Hunter Bishop, and Devin Foyle due up for the Whitecaps. Lefty Rollison kicks and fires, and that is taken down and away. 1 ball and no strikes on Curry. Came into the game hitting .294. Here's the pitch, and he takes down and in. Count is 2-0. Curry grounded out to third. A nice play by Groshans to lead off the 2nd inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's downstairs again. 3-0 the count. There is some light activity out in the Orleans bullpen as Jake Wong is up and walking around. 3-0 pitch in the dirt again, and it's a 4-pitch walk to lead off the 5th inning. So that snaps a streak of 11 straight retired by Ryan Rollison. Brewster has their first base runner since Marty Costas doubled back in the first inning. Here's Hunter Bishop, center fielder from Arizona State. He struck out looking back in the second inning, one of 7 strikeouts for Rollison, who kicks and fires, and that's over the outside corner for a strike. Bishop below the Mendoza line so far this season. Athletic center fielder. Checking over at first is Rollison. Now he pitches, and that just missed. Very similar spot to the first pitch of the at-bat, but that one called the ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out. Runner on first as we play in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch from Rollison. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch inside. And the count is 1-2. Whitecaps looking to dig themselves out of a 4-run hole. They took the lead in the top of the first inning. Orleans tied it and then put up 4 in the third. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with a pitch up in the zone. A fastball from Rollison. That's his 8th strikeout. That sets down Bishop, who has struck out twice. That brings up Devin Foyle, the left fielder from Kansas. Hitting at 172 coming into the game. Flew out to right back in the second inning. Small lead over at first for Curry. Rollison delivers. Breaking ball dips below the knees for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Again, the Firebirds are looking for their 8th consecutive victory as Rollison delivers, and a weak wave at a fastball up in the zone as Foyle regretted that swing halfway through. Unable to hold up. 1-1 the count. Again, almost a microscopic lead over at first base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another ugly looking swing by the number 9 hitter for Brewster. The count is 1-2. Looks like he got tied up. Leadoff man Connor Smith on deck. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Rollison to Foyle. And that is taken for strike 3 over the inside corner. Strikeout number 9 for Ryan Rollison, who is rolling along here in the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Connor Smith, second baseman from Western Michigan. He walked and scored the only Brewster run back in the first inning. And then grounded out to second base in the third. Rollison ready. Here's the pitch. And that is taken for ball 1 low. 1-0 the count. Well, these innings where Rollison's been on the mound have gone quick. While Daniel has labored for Brewster, here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike on the leadoff hitter out of Western Michigan. The Whitecaps look to prolong this 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike, a breaking ball that dips in at the belt, and it's 1-2. Michael Curry on first. He walked on 4 pitches to lead off the inning, but then back-to-back strikeouts of Bishop and Foyle for Rollison, and now he's ahead 1-2 on Smith. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped foul down the third baseline. Smith stays alive, just got a piece of that. And we will see if this is the last inning for Rollison. There is activity out in the Orleans bullpen. Cody Deason is the pitcher warming. It's not often you see an Orleans pitcher go more than 5 innings. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Smith. Swung on and lined on a hop to the second baseman Paul, who tosses to Hotby, who covers second base. And that is the end of the inning. So halfway through this one, Firebirds in control. It's 5-1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Back at Eldridge Park, 5-1, the score in favor of the Firebirds as Orleans seeks its 8th straight victory. Leading off for Orleans is Cesar Salazar, as I'm joined by bullpen catcher Chris Adusi-Poco. And Chris, great having you back in the booth. We had you on last Sunday on the last Rollison start as Salazar, the lefty catcher from Arizona, digs in against Davis Daniels, still on the mound. Here's the first pitch. That's in the dirt for ball 1, but welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And so you saw start 1 from Rollison. Now this is on to start 2. What have you seen differently from start 1 to start 2?
Well, I think the first inning is a lot of times the hardest one for pitchers to get out of. So today, for Rollison to get out of it with 1 run, he's really settled in, and he's pitching well.
Salazar takes a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. Now, Salazar's a catcher as well. What have you and Cesar been working on together at all?
Cesar has unbelievable hands. He's really smooth back there, and so his receiving is probably his best aspect. So watching him, some of the routines he goes through to work on, he has a mini mitt that he uses to catch bullpens. So he's impressive back there. Yeah, really receiving, trying to get as many strikes for the pitcher.
2-1 the count on Salazar as Daniel winds, and the pitch is grounded over to the first baseman Gahagan, and he'll just step on the bag, and that is out number 1. So a mini mitt, is that something that you do as well? Have you ever seen that before?
So I had never seen it before, so I'm learning. I'm trying to pick it up, and it's not easy to catch bullpens with it, to be totally honest. But I think it's great for the receiving because you really feel everything in your hand.
Interesting. I have never heard of that before as well. But so is he the only catcher on the team that uses that, or is he?
So far, yeah. He's the only one of us that has one, but he shares, so he lets us use that.
Here's Steven Scott. The first pitch to him grabs the inside corner for a strike. Scott 0 for 1 today. Did walk, though, back in the 3rd and scored a run. Steven Scott's a guy who's broken out. You saw the big game yesterday.
Big Vanderbilt boy.
The 0-1 outside for ball 1. Is there a player that Steven really reminds you of?
So we kind of see a little bit of Anthony Rizzo in him. I think Lars may emulate the swing a little bit more, but we definitely, yeah.
Here's
also,
the 1-1 upstairs.
Also very thick, looks like a linebacker. Football is truly the first love.
My initial comparison with Steven Scott is actually a different Cub. Kyle Schwarber, just the way he's built, just a stocky guy.
The thumb size. Yeah.
Yep. Here's the 2-1 in the dirt for ball 3, 3-1. I never had really taken him for a Rizzo guy, me being a Cubs fan myself, so I do. But now that you bring it out, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like the Schwarber comp as well, though. That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
A 3-1 to Scott in the dirt for ball 4, and that's walk number 2 for Steven on the afternoon. And with 1 away, here's Brandon Riley and a guy on first. Now Riley, this is a really interesting case. I was talking with Noah about this earlier in the game. He's a guy who's been in the 3-hole all season long, but in comes Nico Decolati, and Nico's just got an absolutely scorching bat right now, and Riley just kind of drifts down to the 6-hole spot, but it's really not his fault. He's been playing well the entire time.
He really has. I mean, he had a 9-game hit streak that kind of went under the radar there. I never really...
Clubs that one through the hole between 3rd and short, and moving to 2nd is Scott, and it's 1st and 2nd now. A 1-out knock for Riley, and here's Jax Groshans. But yeah, go ahead and finish what you were saying on Riley.
Yeah, no, so he kind of went under the weather. I think he lost it in the one game where everybody else had a hit.
Right.
So, but he's very cerebral up there. He really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and with Brandon Riley, I mean, you mentioned the 9-game hitting streak, and the reason why it may have flown under the radar is that it was just a lot of games. I want to say it was 5 or 6 games where he was just getting 1 hit. But, I mean, you're still getting the job done. He had that average well above 300 for the bulk of the season, and, I mean, now he's down at the 6-hole. You got a 3-hitter in the 6-hole.
Yeah.
And Orleans is loving that. They took advantage of it back in the 3rd inning when they scored all 4 of their 5 runs. And, I mean, with a guy like Riley, who you can just kind of place pretty much wherever in the order, it's just a valuable tool.
Exactly. I think the heart of our orders is so competent that he comes up with runners on base all the time now, which obviously he enjoys, and the rest of us like watching the runs score as well. So, yeah.
We're going to have a pitching change here from Eldridge Park. 5-1 the score, Orleans leads. We'll be back with Chris on the other side of this break. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park, still in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 out and runners on first and second as we got a new man on the mound. It's Paulie Milto. He replaces the starter Davis Daniel as Jax Groshans, the righty, digs in with runners on first and second, joined by Chris Adusi-Poku here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network as Orleans tries to get a couple more insurance runs here. First pitch to Groshans in there for a strike. And so today there was a big Firebirds picnic and Jax picked up the guitar and started singing.
He did.
But I heard you got in on the musical act as well.
A little bit. I think music's always been fun for me, but Jax actually plays the guitar and writes his own songs. So he definitely started it off. He brought the guitar out and played one of his originals for us to start. Much more of a country music mix than I have in my repertoire. But
that last one fouled off the knob of the bat of Groshans. 0-2 the count on Jax. So what kind of, you mentioned the country, and he writes his own music.
He does, yeah.
So very multi-talented. I heard he just picked up the guitar last year.
Yeah. And he taught himself too. He knows the chords, but for the most part, he can read music, but he doesn't really. He usually goes by hearing it. So, yeah.
That's a man of many talents.
Yeah.
That'll take you far in life. So, if the whole baseball path doesn't pan out for Jax Groshans, maybe a future country music star.
Exactly.
Here's the 1-2 from Milto. Looks back, comes to a set, and the pitch. Just outside for ball 2. Do you have any hidden talents?
I don't know. I think Stanford does this to you as well. I found that I'm pretty good at a lot of things, but not really good at anything. I think that's the number one thing Stanford teaches you very quickly. There's always somebody who's way better at whatever it is than you. I've been told I have some dad qualities, but not a lot of marketable skills yet. So there's that too. But
Milto steps off. Well, if you're good at a lot of things, what would you say is the most unique thing that you're good at but maybe not great at?
So earlier, So I'm actually not that bad in the kitchen. I can cook a little bit. Yeah, and I think proving that now that I have to sustain myself has been interesting. But I've always found that if you like to eat, you should be able to cook. So I like it.
It's a good rule.
Yeah.
Good life rule.
Yeah.
Everyone should follow that one. 2-2 the count on Groshans. Runners on first and second. None of the runners being held as Jax digs in from the right side against the righty Milto, who looks back. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, checked his swing. Look down to first. No swing. Count is full. So what's your favorite thing to cook, or what's the best dish that if I had to ask you to make me something, I'm asking for that?
I would definitely make spaghetti and meatballs.
Okay.
I think it's pretty easy. It's kind of hard to screw up spaghetti and meatballs.
Right.
And
but it's a classic.
Yeah, exactly. And
the 3-2.
There we
Hit
go.
on a line, right to the shortstop, Graffinino, and he'll step on the bag.
That happens a lot. Yeah. The unfortunate right at somebody.
And that will retire the side here. In the fifth inning, Chris Adusi-Poku, the bullpen catcher for the Orleans Firebirds. Thanks so much for coming on and joining us.
Again.
And we'll talk soon.
For sure.
Thank
you.
We go to the sixth. It's 5-1 Firebirds. You're listening to Orleans Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. back in Orleans, where the Firebirds on top of the Whitecaps 5-1 as we start the 6th inning. New man on the mound for the Firebirds is Cody Deason, the righty out of Arizona. That ends the day for Ryan Rollison. Another very impressive start from Ryan. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, but the big figure, 9 strikeouts. As we go to the 2-hitter, Kyle Dautris. He takes a strike on the inside corner from the new man, Cody Deason. Deason this season, a 0 ERA through 7 innings of work, allowed just 4 hits in that span. No runs, though. Also 10 strikeouts, as there's a little bit of chatter between the Brewster bench and home plate umpire Jeff January. His pitching staff had 15 strikeouts against Hyannis yesterday. Already 9 today, and Deason a power arm out there. We could see Orleans top that figure from yesterday. The next pitch, in there for a strike on the outer half of the plate, and it's 0-2 on Dautris. He was one of 9 strikeout victims, also singled back in the first. 5-1 the Firebirds lead at Eldridge. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Deason got him. And that is out number 1. Strikeout number 1 for Deason. 10 as a unit. They keep racking up here. A packed house here at Eldridge Park. 1,913 on hand today. By far the highest attendance of the season. The next batter, Mickey Gasper, as he ropes one right to the first baseman, Newt Barr. He gloves it and will just tap on the bag. And that is a quick out number 2. So Deason rolling along here in this 6th inning. Already 2 away. That brings up the cleanup man, Marty Costas, who knocked in the lone Brewster run. An RBI double back in the first. Also struck out swinging in the 4th. Righty from Maryland. First team All Big Ten this season. Tied for the lead on the Terps with 13 home runs. Also hit .322. There's the first pitch to Costas, just outside for ball 1. The next home game here at Eldridge Park will be on July 4th. We'll celebrate the 50th anniversary of the remodeling of Eldridge. The next pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike. Should be another packed crowd there. I'm sure we'll eclipse 2,000. Costas the righty against the righty Deason. Cody winds. Here's the pitch. A check swing. He did swing. They're not going to get an appeal. Costas looking back at the home plate umpire Jeff January, wondering why there was no appeal down to first. But January says the wrist broke, and it's 1-2 with 2 away. Top of the 6th inning. 5-1 Orleans on top. Deason works from the windup. Here's his 1-2. Low and away for ball 2 on a breaking ball. Deason's last outing, 1 inning against Catuit. Walked a guy, also struck out another. Here's a 2-2. Just low. Count runs full at 3-2. Deason sits low 90s on the fastball. Breaking ball in the mid to low 80s. Payoff pitch in the dirt for ball 4. And that'll send Costas aboard with 2 away. Here's Zach Gahagan. Now Gahagan has gone down on K's both times up, 0 for 2 today. 1 looking and 1 swinging. That'll force Deason into the stretch. Deason's ready. He sets. Here's the first pitch. Upstairs for ball 1. Gahagan thought about it for a second. Zach was a 39th round pick by the Reds in this year's draft, but decided to stay in school, try to up that stock. Junior from UNC. Here's the pitch. Too tall again on Gahagan. 2-0 the count. 2 away. Top of the 6th inning here at Eldridge. 5-1 the Firebirds lead. Orleans looking for its 8th straight win. Here's the pitch. Again to Hall. That one, a snap throw to first, is not in time as Costas dives back in safely. Count runs 3-0 as Deason struggling to find the zone against Gahagan. Pretty big zone for Zach. He's 6'2", 195. The sun beginning to set. Here's the 3-0. Courtesy strike down the middle, 3-1. Most of the infield is covered in shade. The outfield still soaked in sun, as well as behind the plate. The 3-1 pitch. Cracked foul into the screen, 3-2 the count. That'll have Costas running on the pitch as Newtbar, the first baseman, backs off. Gahagan, the righty, wearing baby blue and white cleats, representative of his UNC colors. Payoff pitch. Another foul ball. This one goes down the first base side and out of play. Brewster has just mustered up 2 hits all game long. They both came in the first inning. Orleans, on the other hand, with 8. Decent set as we get time called by the home plate umpire, January. Same 2 teams tomorrow. Change of venue will be in Brewster at Stony Brook Field, home and home. Here's the 3-2. Another foul ball over the screen, out of play. Count stays full. Gahagan really making decent work after being ahead 3-0. This will be the 18th pitch of the inning for Cody. And ball 4 on the outside as that walks Gahagan. Back-to-back walks from Deason. And here's A.J. Graffinino. He's put the ball in play both times, hasn't gotten on base, has ended both the first and the 4th inning. A line out to Ethan Paul at second, and a grounder to Lars Newtbar at first as we get a quick mound meeting with Jamie Quinn and Cesar Salazar. Well, looking ahead for Orleans, I mentioned a home and home with Brewster today and tomorrow, and then another home and home as the Firebirds will host the Anglers here at Eldridge on the 4th of July and then head out to Veterans Field on the 5th, their first trip. And after that game on Wednesday, we'll have seen all 9, 10, including Eldridge, CCBL parks. So with 2 away, here's A.J. Graffinino, runners on first and second. Neither are being held. First pitch to Graffinino is low and away for ball 1. 5-1 the Firebirds lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Hotby, the shortstop, shaded up the middle as he tries to hold on Costas. Here's the pitch. Outside corner for a strike. Graffinino didn't think so as he contorts his head. 1-1 the count. Deason's ready. He comes to his set, takes a look back at second. And here's his pitch. Up and away for ball 2, 2-1 the count. A.J. Graffinino is the son of second baseman Tony Graffinino, who spent 13 years in the bigs with 7 different teams, most notably the Royals and the White Sox. Son A.J., a draft pick by the Indians. Next pitch in there for a strike. So the Graffinino family checking off 3 of the 5 AL Central teams. 2-2 the count on A.J. Runners on first and second, 2 away, top of the 6th. Deason looks back. Costas dances at second base. Here's the pitch. Roped out into shallow left center. Coming in, though, on the run and making the catch is Jimmy Herron. And that is out number 3. Orleans leaves 2 runners on first and second. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Firebirds on top, 5-1. You're listening to Orleans Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Eldridge Park. 5-1 the Firebirds lead. Orleans searching for its 8th consecutive win and their 12th W in the last 14 tries. So Orleans, after starting the season 0-4, has been on an absolute tear. They lead the CCBL with 22 points. So we get 8-9-1. Here's Lars Nootbaar. 0 for 2 today, has hit the ball hard a couple of times though. First pitch to him, down the middle from Paulie Milto, who's on for his second inning of work. 0-1 the count on Lars. Nootbaar has gone 2 straight games without a walk, which may seem trivial, but as the next pitch up and away, Nootbaar actually leads the league in walks. He's got 14. Very patient at the plate. That 2-game stretch so far has matched his season high. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Nootbaar. He grounds one foul down the third base side. 1-2 the count on Nootbaar. Jeff Hotby to follow, and then to the top of the order we'll go with Jimmy Herron. Nootbaar, the lefty from USC, against the righty Milto. Here's the pitch in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 the count. (5-1) the Orleans lead. Wind blowing slightly in from center. 2-2. In and low on Nootbaar. Count runs full. So Lars working his way back from down 1-2, as we've seen him do so many times. Awaits the payoff pitch from Milto, who winds, and here it comes. Hit up in the air, right side. Coming in is the right fielder Costas, and he camps under it, and that is out number 1. Nootbaar now 0 for 3 today. And here's Jeff Hotby. Hotby 0 for 2 today, popped out to second, also grounded out to first. Shortstop, hitting in the 9 hole for the Birds. As Milto winds, here's his first pitch to Hotby in the dirt for ball 1. Jeff, third on the team in RBIs, sits there with 8th. So he gets production from that 9 spot. Here's the pitch. Hit up in the air out towards right, and gathering under it for out number 2 is the right fielder Costas, who makes back-to-back plays. And now we go to the top of the order, and here's Jimmy Herron with 2 outs. So Orleans in danger of being set down in order for the first time in this game. Firebirds got 1 in the first to go along with 4 in the third. Meanwhile, Brewster just the 1 run in the first inning. Here's the first pitch to Herron. That grabs the outside corner for strike 1. Jimmy 2 for 3 today. One of 2 hitters in the CCBL with an average over 400. The 0-1 pitch, just a bit inside on a breaking ball. 1-1 the count to Herron. With the 2 singles today, he's now reached in all 16 games he's played. Here's the 1-1, a big swing and a miss from Herron. 1-2 the count. Herron the righty against the righty Milto. Milto winds, here it comes. A swing and a miss for strike 3. They go down 1-2-3. We've played 6. On to the 7th inning here from Eldridge. 5-1 Birds. You're listening to Orleans Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge, 5-1 Birds as we go to the 7th. First pitch from Cody Deason to the batter Michael Curry is fouled away. Deason walked a couple guys but left him stranded back in the 6th inning. Also picked up a strikeout. Here's Curry, who's 0 for 1. Next pitch, hit on the ground towards the left side. Cutting it off is Groshans, the third baseman. He throws over to first in time, and that's a quick first out for Deason. One away, here's Hunter Bishop. Bishop 0 for 2 today, both coming via the strikeout. Lefty from Arizona State. Went down looking in the 2nd and swinging in the 5th. We've seen this game really pick up the pace in the middle 3rd as the first pitch is just outside. 1-0 the count. On deck, Chandler Taylor, who was just subbed into the game out in left field, will get his first go at it. Next pitch is tapped foul down the third base line and getting only about halfway down the line. 1-1 the count. Righty Deason against the lefty Bishop. And here's the pitch, skied out to right center. Going back on it is Heron as he goes right in front of the warning track and grabs it. And that is out number 2.
That ball carried a lot farther than it looked like it would off the bat. Really got under it, did Bishop, as he hit that out to right center field, but it looked like it almost got caught up in the jet stream and carried, I'm going to say, maybe 350 feet away.
I would agree with that measure. It looks like he just got a little too far under it, and when the wind's blowing in, you're not going to hit one out here at Eldridge out into the right and left center field alleys. So here's Chandler Taylor, the lefty from Alabama. He squares around a bunt, and he'll pull back on a pitch that was high. Big shift on for Taylor. Shortstop Hotby on the second base side of the bag. Paul in shallow right. Newtbar playing deep at first, and the third baseman Groshans around the shortstop position. The next pitch is upstairs. 2-0. Two away, top of the 7th. 5-1 Birds lead.
Be nice to see Deason come back and have a quick inning here. He really labored after getting 2 quick outs to start the 6th.
The 2-0. Popped in the air on the infield. Getting under it is the catcher Salazar. He squares his back and he's got it, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 for Deason. We've played 7.5. Time to stretch at Eldridge. You're listening to Orleans Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge Park, here for the bottom of the 7th inning, Ethan Paul, Nico Decolati, and Cesar Salazar, as we are really flying here at Eldridge through the middle 3rd of this ball game. No runners have scored since the 3rd when Orleans slapped up 4. Pitching has really picked up as Paulie Milto on for his 3rd inning of work. The righty against the lefty Paul. Here's the first pitch to Ethan in there for a strike. And speaking of pitching, today is the 54th anniversary of the supposed greatest game ever pitched. There's the 0-1 to Ethan. Popped foul down the third base line, out of play. So back in 1963, Juan Marichal of the Giants and Warren Spahn both went 15 scoreless innings, and it was walked off in the bottom of the 16th as Willie Mays took Spahn deep. There's the next pitch to Paul. That one sails over the head of the catcher, Gasper. That's ball 1, 1 and 2. Can you imagine a pitcher in today's day and age going 16 innings?
It would never happen. It would never happen. There's so much concern about pitch count, but again, a lot of pitchers didn't throw as hard back then.
1-2 upstairs above the belt. 2 and 2 on Ethan. And I'll give you a guess how many innings Marichal threw that season. Here's the 2-2. That one fouled straight back. I'll give you a baseline.
Okay.
Today, a workhorse will go about 200.
I don't want to guess too high and then like ruin your story. So
Well,
I'll
go-
say, how about 300?
More.
350?
A little less than that.
340? 340.
321. Next pitch is popped in the air, foul down the third base side. That gets out of play.
321 innings.
And
Oh my
Spahn, at
gosh.
the age of 43 that season, threw 22 complete games.
It
be-
was a different time.
Yep. You'll be lucky if you see 5 complete games out of a pitcher. Here's the 2-2. Inside on Paul, almost hit him. 3 and 2 the count on Ethan Paul.
Nice at bat here for Paul to lead off the inning. See an 8th pitch right here.
Payoff pitch is fouled away down the left field line, out of play. Ethan today, a couple of singles also popped out, 2 for 3. The 2 spot yesterday was very effective. Went 3 for 3, was put on base 6 times, though all 6 times that the 2-hitter came to the plate. That was split between Paul and Groshans as the pitch is upstairs. I thought that was ball 4 as Kelly Nicholson, as Paul stayed in the box, and Kelly Nicholson finally tells Ethan Paul that was ball 4. He'll go down to first as Nicholson tells Paul, I know you want to hit, but we got to take your base right there. That brings up Nico Decolati. That reminds me of in Little League sometimes when you were hit by a pitch and you had the decision of whether you wanted to keep the at-bat going or you could walk.
That was never a option for me.
Really?
I never had that.
Here's Nico Decolati, the first pitch to him, in there for a strike on a fastball.
I would have taken my base.
Really?
Yeah. In Little League?
In Little League, yeah, I'm sure that was the popular opinion, at least from what I can recall. Paul aboard at first, none away. Bottom of the 7th. This runner goes. A line drive right to the first baseman, Gahagan, and he'll just step on the bag. They're actually going to say that ball bounced. So a 1-hop to Gahagan as he had the only play over at first. And so instead of 2 away, it's just 1 as Paul goes to second. Sun's starting to cast some strange shadows over the field here. Cesar Salazar aboard.
This is usually about the top of the 2nd inning. All right, right around 7:30.
This one we're used to starting. Salazar, the lefty, against the righty Milto. The first pitch to him is low and away. Ball 1 on Cesar. Salazar 1 for 3 today. Scored a run in the 3rd after he singled. Was grounded out and popped out both to the right side. Paul, the runner, on second. Here's the pitch to Salazar, in there for a strike. 1-1 the count.
Well, if you're Brewster, that's an important run out at second base. Orleans' bullpen has been so dominant. Really can't afford to fall behind any further than they already are.
Here's the pitch to Salazar. That's outside for ball 2, 2-1. Orleans has gotten 10 or more hits in 4 of the last 5 games, including 45 over the past 3. They've got 8 today. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Salazar. Ground ball right side. That'll advance the runner. Picked up by the new second baseman, Dunn. He throws over to first, and that is out number 2. Paul on third now, and here's Steven Scott, who's swinging a hot stick. He's 0 for 1 today, has drawn a pair of walks and scored back in the 4-run third. Bottom of the 7th inning, 5-1 Orleans. Firebirds trying to tack on an insurance run right here. You mentioned, Noah, the bullpen has been so good. There's the pitch to Scott. Grabs the outside corner. 0-1 the count.
Have been dominant, and Deason did a really nice job to recover after walking a couple guys in his first inning of work. Put another 0 on the board.
Pitch to Scott is off the end of the bat, foul down the third base side. 0-2 on Steven, who had the big game yesterday. 2 home runs, a 3-run shot, and a 2-run homer. Ended the day with 6 RBIs. He's now 7 for his last 12. 9 RBIs in that stretch. All 9 of his runs batted in. Here's the 0-2. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. Check down to third, and yes, he did. And that's out number 3 for Scott. Orleans leaves a man on third and scores none. We go to the 8th inning. 5-1 Birds. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Eldridge for the start of the 8th inning. Orleans on top 5-1 over the Whitecaps. This is the second of 6 meetings between these two teams. Where that You don't see an East Division foe more than once through the first month of the season. Top of the order, new leadoff man is Nick Dunn. He watches a strike go by on the outside corner from the new hurler Brett Daniels. So that ends the day for Cody Deason. He goes 2 scoreless, hitless as well. Also picks up a couple strikeouts and walks 1. Here's the next pitch. Broken bat grounder down the left side as that trickles foul. So Dunn will need a new stick. 0-2 the count on Nick. Daniels, one of many UNC pitchers out of the pen. Him along with Taylor Sugg, Josh Hyatt. Part of a very strong Orleans bullpen.
Be interested to see if we even see Hyatt today, as long as Daniels doesn't give up a run here.
The 0-2 to Dunn is way too high. 1-2 the count. Dunn making his first at-bat today. He's in at second base now. Plays at Maryland. Where's number 39? Here's the pitch. Fouled away down the left field line. That one hit deep, but too far wide of the line. 1-2 the count remains. Brewster without a hit since the first inning. Here's the 1-2 from Daniels. Ground ball right side. Getting around it is the second baseman, Paul. He's got it. The flip to first in time, and that's out number 1.
Good start for Daniels. Nice job by Dunn to battle in that at-bat, but eventually just a weak ground ball to second base. Brewster down to the last 5 outs.
Here's the 2-hitter Kyle Dautris going up against his Tar Heel teammate Daniels. Righty-to-righty matchup. Taking a look at some scores from around the league. If Orleans holds on, they'll be up to 24 points on the season as the first pitch. A breaking ball that drops in for a strike. 0-1 the count on Dautris.
Orleans at the moment getting some help from the other Cape League teams.
Here's the 0-1. Another breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-2. Harwich, the last place team in the East, is beating up on Chatham in the bottom of the 8th, 7-3. And Wareham holds a 4-0 edge over YD. Here's the 0-2. Check swing, look down to first, and no swing, says Steve Durrani.
And how about Hyannis? They've given up another 11 runs tonight. It's ahead 11-7 in that matchup.
So make it 28 and counting in 2 days for the Harbor Hawks. Here's the 1-2 pitch, clubbed out to deep left center. Going back on it is Heron, and that ball is one hop off the fence. Chugging around for 3 is Dautris. He loses his helmet. Cutoff throw is made by the second baseman Paul, and he'll walk it back in. A 1-out triple for Kyle Dautris. Snaps the hitless streak at 6 innings. And that'll bring up Mickey Gasper with 1 away and a runner 90 feet away.
First triple of the season for Brewster as a team. They had collected 36 extra base hits, but 25 of them were doubles and 11 were home runs. There's the first triple. Absolute shot out to left center field. That's probably out of the park at a lot of other venues around the Cape League.
Here's Mickey Gasper, the lefty. First pitch to him is up and away for ball 1. Gasper homered in the opener between these two, and he hit it to about the same spot that Dautris just hit that last one, except his little extra oomph on it. Next pitch, inside corner for a strike to the lefty Gasper.
Nice pitch on 1-0, right over the inside corner, and got Gasper to kind of turn around, unable to pull the trigger.
Here's the 1-1. Just a bit above the belt. 2-1 on Mickey. 0 for 3 today, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Orleans has a staff with 10 punch-outs today. 13 yesterday. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2.
Nice job so far by Daniels doesn't seem to be rattled by the triple. Attacking Gasper.
Infield straight up, conceding the runner at third. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just a bit inside. The Orleans bench wanted that one, and the count runs full.
That was really close, just off the inside corner, apparently. Looked like Gasper wasn't even sure if that was inside.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss for strike three. And that's outnumbered to a big strikeout for Daniels as he tries to wiggle out of a runner on third jam. That brings up Marty Costas. One of the more productive days today for the Whitecaps. He's knocked in the lone run on an RBI double back in the first. Also walked and was stranded at second in the sixth. First pitch to Marty. Outside. 1-0 the count. 5-1 the score. Orleans on top of Brewster. Battle between two East Division teams. Stretch and the pitch. Upstairs on Costas. 2-0 the count. Two away. Top of the eighth. The 2-0 pitch. Ground ball that's fouled off the back shin of Costas. He's all right, though. Takes a couple of practice swings.
And Josh Hyatt has gotten up and is throwing in the Orleans bullpen.
Daniels is ready. He looks in and deals. Just a bit outside, maybe a little low, too. Count is 3-1 on Costas. The righty from Maryland against the righty from UNC. Daniels sets and the pitch. Ground ball left side. Getting around it is the shortstop, Hotby. His fire across the diamond in time. And that is out number 3. A big work around a triple from Brett Daniels. Brewster leaves one on third. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Still 5-1 Firebirds. You're listening to Orleans Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. On to the bottom of the eighth here from Eldridge Park. New guy on the mound for the Whitecaps is J.R. McDermott, the righty out of Colorado Mesa University, 1-1 with a 2.2 ERA this summer. He'll face Brandon Riley, who swings and misses at a fastball upstairs. Riley will be followed by Groshans and Newtbar, 7 and 8 in the order. McDermott winds. And the pitch. That's in the dirt for ball one. A very slow and deliberate delivery from McDermott. He winds and lifts the left leg, and then he puts it almost touching the ground again, and then comes to the stretch forward. Here's the 1-1 to Riley. Popped in the air, moving towards foul territory on the left side. Getting around over to it is the third baseman Datris, who catches the out from his UNC teammate Riley. And that is out number 1.
Or rather, the pitcher McDermott has actually had a pretty good season for Brewster, and what has been an up and down season for their pitching staff, but he leads them with 16 and a third innings pitched, and is also second in strikeouts with 16.
Here's Jax Groshans, 1 for 2 today. A single and a line out into a double play as he pops one over on the right side. This one could find the outfield grass. Coming in is Costas as he drifts into foul territory down the right field line to make the catch. And that is a quick 2 outs for the new pitcher McDermott.
That just hung up a little too long for Groshans. Looked like that was going to kick up chalk down the right field line. Just hung up there a little bit, and a lot of speed from Costas out in right field as he was able to run under it and make a nice catch.
Here's Lars Nootbaar. He's 0 for 3 today. A ground ball into a double play. Lined out to short and flew out to right. Righty to lefty. Here's the first pitch from McDermott. Fastball in there for a strike. Lights are coming on here at Eldridge Park. Probably won't need them for the 9th. Still a fair amount of daylight here in Orleans. The 0-1 pitch to Nootbaar. Breaking ball too high. 1-1, bottom of the 8th inning. Orleans holding on to a 5-1 lead. Not as big of an advantage as the Firebirds are used to having these last couple games. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back into the screen, 1-2. Today, one of 2 5:30 starts on the season for the Birds here at Eldridge. The other will come on January 30th against Wareham. The 1-2 to Nootbaar. Correct foul down the left field line, out of play. 1-2 the count. Saw Lars work his way back earlier from 1-2, but it resulted in a fly out. He can do that. He'll run his way back from down 1-2. 1-2 again. Grounded foul down the first base side. That one goes towards the Birds' dugout.
Nice battle here for Nootbaar. Good job by McDermott. Pounding in pitches right around the strike zone, but Nootbaar spoiling a few.
Hotby on deck if Nootbaar can reach. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive out to left. That'll drop fair for a base hit. Rounding first and holding as Nootbaar slammed on the brakes after a big turn. And that's the first hit for Lars today, and here comes Jeff Hotby.
It's a good feeling for Nootbaar, whose average had dropped down to 191 after starting the day at 205. It's a base hit right there down the left field line. Good piece of 2-strike hitting. Takes the ball in the outer half and grabs his first base hit of the game.
Here's the shortstop Hotby, also batting from the left-handed side against the righty McDermott. Nootbaar, the runner on first. Not a huge lead, holds his batting gloves in his hands. The first pitch to Hotby, pumps in for a strike. 0-1 the count on Jeff. I mentioned the lights are on here at Eldridge. The entire field now in the shade. Here's the kick and the pitch. In there for a strike on the inside corner. 0-2 on Hotby. Jeff is 0 for 3 today. A couple of flyouts and 1 ground out. All of it going to the right side. The pitch is way too tall on Hotby. That one at the eye level. 1-2 the count. See if Orleans can pick up an insurance run, and if they do, maybe we don't see Hyatt in the ninth. Here's the pitch. Ground ball over towards the right side. Second baseman Dunn has got it, flips to first, and that is out number 3. Orleans spoils a base hit from Newtbar. They leave one, score none. We go to the top of the ninth. Firebirds looking for their 8th straight. 5-1 Orleans on top. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. On to the ninth here from Eldridge Park. Orleans holds on with a 5-1 lead over the Whitecaps as we start this ninth inning. It'll be Zach Gahagan, AJ Graffinino, and Michael Curry as we get back-to-back Tar Heels on the mound. Here's Josh Hyatt going up against his UNC teammate Gahagan to start this ninth inning. Not a save situation for Josh. He's tied for second with Ryan Feltner of Bourne with 4 saves. Here's the first pitch to Gahagan. Fastball in there for a strike.
Hyatt's been very consistent so far this season. Opponents have had a really tough time picking him up.
Next pitch is low on Gahagan. 1-1 the count from Hyatt. The righty against the righty Gahagan. Josh's fastball sits about low 90s. He winds and the pitch is fouled away. A dribbler down the third base side. 1-2 the count on Gahagan.
Nice breaking ball there on 1-1. Had a hitter, Gahagan, way out in front of it. Just was able to tap it foul toward the Brewster dugout. Whitecaps only with 3 hits in this game.
Hyatt's ready. Here's his 1-2. Grounded foul down the third base side. Very diverse set of hits, too, as well. 1 single, 1 double, and 1 triple. So they've almost hit for the cycle as a team. Hyatt going to try to keep it at an almost. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got Gahagan waving at a breaking ball, and that's out number 1 in this ninth inning.
That was another really nice breaking ball. Dropped it down just a little bit compared to the past 2. Ended up right at the feet of Gahagan, and he swung right over the top of it. Hyatt off to another strong start.
That's the 13th strikeout by this Orleans staff. That matches the total from yesterday against Hyannis. As the first pitch to the next batter, Graffinino, is in there for a strike, 0-1. 153 strikeouts on the season for Orleans. That's tied for first with Falmouth. The next pitch is a line drive right to the shortstop, Hotby, who gloves it, and that's out number 2. So I would imagine Orleans will take over sole possession of first. I don't have the strikeout totals for Falmouth today, but 13, when you're getting about half your outs via the strikeout, that's going to be tough to match for the Commodores. Here's Michael Curry, designated hitter, 0 for 2 today. A couple of ground outs to third as the first pitch to him, in there for a strike. Curry also walked back in the 5th, but was mowed down on the base paths on a fielder's choice. 2 away in this top of the 9th inning. Next pitch is way too high. Almost hit Curry in the head on a breaking ball. Didn't get quite the cut that Josh would have liked. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Had Curry way out in front of that pitch. And it's 1-2. Whitecaps down to their last bullet. Paul, the second baseman, shaded a bit up the middle as Hyatt winds. The pitch. Breaking ball just a bit inside. Hyatt wanted that one, and it's 2-2. Orleans looking for their 8th straight win. Hyatt sets, and the pitch. Ground ball right back up the middle. Charging on it is the shortstop, Hopey. Throw over to first in time, and that is out number 3. Orleans claims its 8th straight victim. They move to 12-6 on the Cape Cod season, and with 24 points sit atop of the league as they take down Brewster. 5-1 the final here from Eldridge. It was a great all-around performance by the Firebirds rather, who got some timely hitting, although the bats did go quiet in innings 4 through 8. But the pitching picks them up once again, and aside from a bit of a rough first inning from Ryan Rollison, smooth sailing for Orleans from the second inning on.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic job to bounce back for Rollison as we were kind of looking at each other in the early going after he had trouble with the first 4 hitters, but really came back strong. The bullpen once again was fantastic, and then the offense made the most of their opportunities. No 17-run explosion today, but very good third inning. Really put the game away as Brewster could only manage 3 hits.
Again, the final, 5-1 Orleans over Brewster. We'll be back with the totals and more. This is the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. back in Orleans, where the Firebirds come out victorious 5-1 over the Brewster Whitecaps. Orleans moving to 12-6 on the season. 7-3 here at the friendly confines of Eldridge Park as Firebirds continue to roll. That's 8 straight now for the Birds. We'll take a look at some of the totals from today's game. Orleans, 5 runs on 9 hits, no errors. The defense continues to be excellent and leaving 7 on base. Meanwhile, for the losing Whitecaps, 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error in the field. That extends their league worst to 25, as they also left 6 on base. So not a lot of opportunities for the Whitecaps to get going on offense. They went hitless in innings 3 through 8. And really, the Firebirds' pitching continues to be excellent, both from the starting variety as well as in the bullpen. We'll be joined by Jimmy Herron in just a couple of moments. Taking a look at some of the stats, we'll start with the winning pitcher today, Ryan Rollison. He went 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. That came back in the first. But after that, he settled down and threw 4 scoreless innings, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts, the big figure for Ryan Rollison, the pitcher out of Ole Miss, who came in and has made a couple of very, very impressive starts. The first one where he went 4 scoreless, 4 perfect, I should say, against a very potent Catuit offense, and now continues to be dynamic. As on the losing side, Davis Daniel, not as good today, 4.1, 8 hits, 5 runs, all of those of the earned variety, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. As we're joined now by Jimmy Herron. And Jimmy, we haven't had a chance to talk to you this season. You've just been so consistent throughout the year. Again, another 2 hits for you today. What's been your approach at the plate coming here to the Cape?
I try to keep it simple. Play every day. Try not to get too high or too low. Really, just focus on getting a good pitch to hit and try to put my barrel on it. Today I had 2 strikes on me a couple times. Just trying to put the ball in play, get on base, help the team. A couple balls fell in for me, which was nice.
And it seems like 2-strike hitting has been one of your strengths this season. Do you change your approach at all?
A little bit. I don't like striking out. I don't want to strike out. I guess depending on the arm, just try to put the ball in play. But I also try to take the tough sliders and spoil foul balls off, because lots of times you can get a good pitch after that.
And you've been here through the lows of the season, the 0-4 start, and you've been here through the highs, now on an 8-game winning streak. Where has the switch been flipped for you guys?
I think it's just getting more games, everyone getting games together. Coming in and never played with any of these guys, so I think as you start to get to know each other and gel as a team a little better, it becomes easier to win and it becomes fun. We're having a blast. The group has come together and we're just playing well and really just having fun with it.
And now the 8 wins in a row, as I mentioned. How do you guys keep this momentum rolling?
We just have fun with it. We talk about it. We don't try to say don't talk about a win streak. We love to blurt it out after wins. It's 8 in a row. Just have fun with it and really, come out every day, just play hard and try to get another one.
And how many more you think you're going to stretch it?
Hopefully a bunch. We're playing well. See if we can keep rolling.
All right, Jimmy, congrats on the win today, and best of luck moving forward.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Jimmy Herron, today's player of the game. Again, the happy final from Eldridge Park, 5-1 in favor of the Birds. That's 8 in a row for Kelly Nicholson's team. And we'll be back tomorrow from Stony Brook Field out in Brewster. Same 2 teams as Orleans and the Whitecaps will do it again tomorrow. Again, the final, 5-1 from Eldridge. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your Sunday night.